Biden vows America will address original sin of racism. Democratic nominee traveled to Kenosha on Thursday. Alright, so then it reads, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden thrust his campaign into rolling national debate over police violence and racial justice on Thursday as he traveled to Kenosha, Wisconsin, pointedly embraced the nation's racial reckoning, vowing improvements if elected president. Alright, so then this. It just reminds me of Psalm 55:21 that reads, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So, right now, he's trying to get the soft spot of the people so that they vote for him. But I mean, no matter who it is in office, it's the same person. They all Edomites. They all got the same goal. They all want to push this NWO New World Order, get these vaccines out, and ultimately that chip. But yeah, that's all that this is about. And if we go to, I'm gonna continue with this article. During an emotional meeting held in a church not far from looted downtown buildings, Biden made some of his most direct comments on the subject of race, growing introspective at times and speaking barely above a whisper. He said the shock of the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis in May and the shooting that paralyzed Jacob Blake in Kenosha on August 23rd has provided the first window in the generations for the nation to address centuries-old problems, and they never gonna go away until the second coming. We're finally now getting to the point where we're going to address the original sin in this country, which is slavery. And then you got some of our people hoping for reparations and stuff. And I bet like they want equality. All right. But if we go to Micah 2:10, it reads, arise, ye, and depart. So arise, ye, and depart. It's somewhere in John it says the truth will set you free. So it says arise, ye, and depart. Depart spiritually. And get into this truth, the knowledge. Then it says, for this is not your rest. So you shouldn't be putting your hopes into this country. This is not our country. This is a captivity. Because it is polluted. It's polluted because of the ways of Babylon. That philosophy they push on the rest of the world. And I got an example of that right here in First Maccabees. Like a lot of their philosophies are real messed up, and then even with their laws and stuff, or just with the way of life in Babylon the Great period, because they want to get everybody to conform to a certain way, so that those that are actually doing righteous are seen as the bad guys. And then right here it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So they want everybody to be they're polluted because they want the whole earth is polluted because everybody has followed the ways of Babylon the Great in that one set of philosophy. All right. Then it says, it shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. Again, the ways of Babylon. All right, so. Oh, no, not this. Nope. Yeah, there we go. So then, we're finally now getting to to the point when okay, no. Biden said, I can't guarantee you everything gets solved in 4 years, but I can guarantee you one thing: it will be a whole heck of a lot better. We'll move a lot further down the road, which is not going to happen. So when you think of the like Psalms 55:21, and go back to that. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So when you think of smooth, it's just right. It's crafty. It's no jerking movements. It's nothing sharp. It's nothing you can notice. It's real deceptive. So he's just talking smooth. He's using deception to talk to these people to get the voters' hearts and minds. All right. Just like any other Edomite in this country, or just anywhere in the world for that matter. In tone and dialogue, Biden's trip differed dramatically from that of President Trump 2 days earlier. The former vice president met Blake's family and spoke with Blake by phone for 15 minutes. Before meeting with a desperate group of community leaders, Trump had toured buildings burned after protests over the shooting, and his audience was heavy with law enforcement. All right, let's get down a little bit. Well, the whole point I chose this article is because of the title. It says, Biden vows America will address original sin of racism. I thought it said something about slavery. Oh yeah. We're finally now getting to the point where we're going to address the original sin in this country, slavery and all the vestiges of it. Let me see what vestiges means. So it says a trace of something. So yeah, the trace of slavery. I mean, they're not, and they actually talked about taking this out of the history books and everything. So they trying to make everybody, like I read First Maccabees 1:41. They want to get everybody onto that same beat. They want everybody to be one so that they can further. They want to further push that covering cast along with that new world order, so everybody can just be in great confusion. And that's why this place is called Babylon the Great. And Babylon it comes from Babel, meaning confusion. All right. And I also wanted to get, but this is what they ultimately think. Actually, I'm gonna get it in the Apocrypha. All right, so it's in Wisdom of Solomon. All right, so this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. So this is what these elite and all these world leaders and stuff think of the Most High's people of Israel. It says, and our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, because they can be wiped out after 1,000 years of brutal slavery. That's why they want to stop that Revelation 13 and 10. They don't want to go into captivity. They're trying to escape that judgment. and our life shall pass away as a trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as mist that is driven with beams of sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning. And for it is sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in use. The creatures are the Israelites. They wanted to use them. They wanted to use them as in, that's talking about slavery. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and do they not live lavishly? And then it says, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. And tokens is a sign. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. And they do that all the time. They got statues. They got these big ass mansions. The way they design their cities. They name their cities after themselves. Like, they have memorials everywhere. Then it reads, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. So that's what they were given. They were given the fatness of the earth and a great sword. Let us oppress the poor righteous man, which is the Israelite. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let the strength of the law of justice for. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble found to be nothing worth. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with the offending the law, and objecteth to the infamy the transgressions of our education. He professes to have knowledge of Yahweh, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like another man's. His ways are of another fashion, because Jacob is the former of all things. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and it is, because in the end, the elect will get the kingdom under Yahweh Shah and King David, and maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father. Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what shall happen to him, to happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the son of Yahweh, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. And essentially that's their that's their goal day in and day out. They never changed. Goes back to the blessing. Esau said he was going to mourn for his father, and then go and get his brother, because he was still mad at that blessing. So yeah, that's essentially what they have in mind. Going back to Psalms 55 and 21, his words were smoother than oil or butter, because he's trying to trap Jacob. And we go back to verse 12, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous. To lie in wait for something, you're setting a trap. You're setting a trap. So they constantly setting traps with their different decrees and how they talk, and ultimately they don't fucking like Jake, man. Like, I don't understand why people don't see that. They still go out here and vote, and put their hopes and futures into this man. But like they for some reason, even though time and time again he's shown his horns, they still put their trust into this system. All right, so hopefully that was edifying. Call Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Kakadash. Shalom.